Hello, how are you? This is Matthew from LoveBudi. Today we're here with another love tip, a tip about how to use love in your life more. When you run into problems in life, when we run into situations that we need to solve, problems that come up, love will always solve those problems, and I have yet to have anyone challenge that idea. I really believe in it. I'm completely convinced. Today, what is today? Today is Monday, the 15th of July, 2019. It's 10 a.m. here in the Philippines. It's 10 p.m. New York time, Saturday night, July 14th. How are you? I hope you're having a wonderful day. Let's talk about this concept of love blockers. What's a love blocker? Okay, love is our natural state. Love is kind of like resetting to zero. Love is kind of like the 0 point. When you take away all the distractions, all the confusions, all the things that happen in life, all the crazy things that are happening, take it all away. At the foundation, the essence of life is love. So what does that mean? That means that it's our natural state. And the only reason that we don't have love in this world more, the reason the world is so chaotic and we have problems both in our personal lives, problems with others, society has problems, countries have problems, governments have problems. All of these stem from a lack of love, lack of the principles of love as an organizing factor that brings peace, brings unity, helps us work together, helps us make the world a better place. And that's a step-by-step process. And it's what we're here to do. We are bringing order to chaos through love, through our compassion, through our nurturing, through our understanding, our kindness, our listening. And when we get in a state of love, when we're living in the love zone, because we've practiced our love habits, then we have more joy in our lives. We have more happiness. We have absolute meaning in our lives. We're on track completely. There's no confusion. But what blocks love? What gets in the way of love? What are the things that really cause love to not do its magic? You know, it's kind of like a clogged drain, right? The drain is supposed to let the water go through. Washing dishes, you know, you pull the plug and your water is supposed to go down. Water doesn't go down. What gets in the way? Well, there are blockers that stop this natural flow of the water through the drain. There are blockers in our lives that we adopt, that we pick up, that individuals will employ either consciously or unconsciously, either by mistake or just by not knowing, that get in the way of the love working, of us being in harmony, of us being in the flow of existence. There are things that get in the way of that, behaviors, ideas. One of them is religion. Now, I don't want to knock religion in general, although I am very skeptical because of my experience in religions. I haven't found one that's love-based. You really don't need to have a religion when you are based on love. And if your religion aligns with love, that's just an absolute wonderful thing. So let's just make sure that we have beliefs, whatever those beliefs might be, that are in alignment with love, that are in alignment with nurturing, open arms, accepting others and working together with others, empowering others. Because a lot of religions say, hey, you don't worship my God, so my God's going to kill you. Or you don't worship my God, so you're not going to live forever in heaven, or whatever the plan is. Or you're going to go to hell, maybe even, you know. So sometimes religion can really block love. And people really get caught up in this dogma. They get caught up in almost kind of a brainwashing scheme that says, look, you got to believe this, you got to believe this, or what's going to happen is you burn forever in hell. But if you do believe this, you get to stay forever in heaven. What's your average Joe know? What does your average person really know? They go, well, they say it's true, so it must be true. So they go ahead and they follow that to their own detriment, to the detriment of society, because sometimes what these beliefs will do is they divide us and they make us judge each other, put each other down, criticize each other, disrespect each other, and especially not cooperate together. Now, how about politics? I see it right now. I mean, there's so much hate for Trump. as President Trump, and then there's also some people that really, really love him and stand by him. And it seems like when you're on opposite ends of this political spectrum, that you use politics to divide. And people use politics to divide. Politics absolutely works like a charm to separate people and to make people think, hey, if you vote, you're getting somewhere. Doesn't matter who's in office. You know, I've been around 58 years. I've watched presidents and what they can do. They can't do anything. They can't get anything done except follow the orders of the people who have the money, the people who have the power. The president tries to resist that, they get kicked out of office or they get killed or something like that. Or they just get fighting the whole way. So I don't look to leadership. I don't look to politics. I don't look to somebody sitting in an office thousands of miles away who never met me making decisions about my life. I don't make any decisions about their life. They don't need to make any decisions about mine. And it's a ridiculous concept to think that they should be in charge, but that's what people do. They say, oh, I'm going to let this guy make all the decisions for my life. I'm going to let this group of people, I'm going to let this party make the decisions for my life because I'm not capable of doing that. Or there would be chaos if we didn't. There is chaos. There is division now. So this party, this political concept that you're subscribing to actually is a divisive force. It doesn't bring people together. By its very definition, it splits people. Politics doesn't work to bring people together. Community brings people together. You respect, you love somebody, you support them, regardless of their political stand. Throw out politics, bring in community. Sports, man, you know, people even get murdered for, like, there was a goalie, I can't remember what country he was in, maybe it was Brazil. Goalie missed a save in soccer, and the fans went to his house and killed him because he lost the game. I mean, sports, not only is sports a way to divide people, to say, especially, you know, the Brits that I know, you know, that are loyal to some football club, you know, and then they have, you know, I forgot what they're called. They're guys that hang around outside outside the stadium, and they beat up guys that support the other team. You know, it's just ridiculous. But not only from the aspect of believing in one sports team over another that divides people. The biggest thing that sports will do to divide people is distract them away from anything meaningful in life. Now, if you feel like getting the ball through the thing, or, you know, getting the ball someplace, if you feel like that's more important than other things in the world, it's working. It's working to divide us, because what you've become is you've become a person who is enraptured, distracted, kind of made impotent as a good force on this earth, as someone who can help the world become a better place by putting all of your energy on sports. Sports are okay, but they have their place, and their place should be extremely small compared to the problems with the world. But if you look at all the money that's spent on sports tickets, look at all the wasted time on sports, you know, commercials on TV. Look at the Super Bowl in America and all the money that's spent on that. What would happen if, instead of having these huge matches and putting all this money and giving all these millions and millions of dollars to all these players, we focused on making the world a better place? I'm talking about educating and feeding. I'm talking about giving people housing. I mean, it would happen overnight if you were to divert. So what sports is really, really effective at, and the people who follow sports closely, the drunk people that become impotent through their obsession with sports, it makes us unable to solve the problems of the world. So sports is actually, believe it or not, a major factor. Race and culture, we can judge somebody by the color of their skin, where they're from, what ID they carry, what food they like to eat. And culture can also involve religion, because a lot of times people always almost belong to the religion of their geographical area, the influence that they have. So because the people around you that raised you and the people you live around believe one set of ideas, that's what people end up believing. Now, that could be as simple as, That could be about as important about as a god, that you worship the god or gods that the people around you worship, or it could be as insignificant as, you know, how you shake hands. Do you use your right hand or your left hand? Can you use your left hand? I've lived in countries where you don't use the left hand for shaking hands or giving or receiving money. You just never do that because that's their culture. Can't point at something with your foot or use your finger to point at something. I mean, there are cultural things that can divide us. And we can say, hey, because those guys eat this kind of food, or those guys behave this way, they're not me, they're not my tribe. You know, this tribalism divides people like crazy. And they can use an excuse like race or culture. All it is lack of love. There's no other reason. It's lack of compassion, understanding, communication, respect with others. It's lack of listening. It's lack of caring enough to really understand other people. We're all equal. We all have rights. As long as we're not hurting somebody. And even the people that are hurting somebody, they have rights. We don't treat them like garbage, but we do prevent them from hurting others. That's all. But we don't need to punish them or hurt them. Finally, ideals. Now, on this list is has 5 items on it. The last is ideals. So we can have the trap that I could fall into is I could say, and I do this, you know, I divide, I separate, I get frustrated with people when I'm in line. I was in line the other day at a restaurant waiting for takeout, and some guy walks up and goes in front of me, and it made me angry. That was an ideal I had. I have an ideal that people should wait in line. Okay, maybe some people agree with that. Other people, like in China, I found all over China's, you know, people don't like to wait in lines. They just cut in front. It's a bully system, whether you're driving your car, you're waiting in line, or whatever you're doing. Rules in countries, in a lot of countries, especially in Southeast Asia, where I've lived for a couple of decades now. Here in the Philippines, it's as true as well. And if you push and ignore others and you cut in front, that's allowed. And so I don't believe in that. I don't like that. It's a personal pet peeve of mine. So I allow this ideal of how people are supposed to wait in line. I allow that to upset me at times, and I'm working on that. That's a weakness that I have. That's an ideal that I have, how people are supposed to behave. You're not supposed to be smoking in places where you're not supposed to smoke. You're not supposed to be throwing your garbage on the ground. Little things like this make me angry, make me judgmental, and make me put up a wall and get angry at somebody else and separate myself from them and be judgmental to them, to say they're not as good as me, or they're doing something wrong. They're wrong, you know? And so I get on this bandwagon where I'm being judgmental, and that's my contribution to this division, and I'm working on that. I admit that that's not right. Whatever somebody's doing, okay, no big deal. I don't have to get that upset about it, and I don't have to create division. You know, we can work together. We can still work in unity, and we're all learning in our own ways, and we've all got our own reasons for how we behave the way we behave. Every single one of us has valid reasons that if we understand each other, we'll say, oh, that's why. He was never taught this, or he doesn't agree with this, or he's having a bad day, or a million other possible reasons. All that would invalidate my supposed right to judge them and put them down. Here's the last one. Actually, this list is really, really, really incomplete because I didn't write down the most important thing that's a love blocker, that blocks love, that stops us from working together and accepting each other. It's money. It's the money system. This is worth books, hours of video, movies, articles. And people are so unaware because people come back with, oh, but money can do this and it helps us do the trade. What are we supposed to do? Trade a chicken for a table, you know, all this other garbage that comes up that people don't understand. Because people study economy, and economy is a great, I mean, look at what Wall Street accomplishes. Look at what Wall Street accomplishes for the good of humankind. And tell me if you think that this whole economic system is worth a darn. People study years and years to get diplomas and certificates in what? And they can't even feed their neighbor. We got kids by the thousands dying every day from neglect. And you think getting a diploma in economics is somehow going to help? It's complete mental masturbation. It's complete confusion. It's ridiculous because it's got nothing to do with what reality is. And that is People need to love each other. People need to embrace each other. People need to help each other out, nurture each other, support each other. And we're not doing that. Because of money, usually money is a huge thing that's in the way. No, I don't have money to give to that kid. You know, somebody's standing outside, they're starving. Who knows? Maybe they're a scam artist. Maybe they're not. We don't give them money. We use money as a way to get people evicted out of their homes so they're living on the street. The system uses money so that people can buy billion-dollar aircraft to bomb innocent people, but they can't spend the money to feed them and clothe other people that are starving. The main cause of crime is about poverty. People get desperate. They do anything they can because they want to survive. They know nobody else cares about them. Money is the tool, the linchpin, the key way that people divert their time, energy, resources away from people that need it and towards ridiculous other things like designer handbags, real estate. These incredible indulgences that state and proclaim loudly that I'd rather spend 10 times the amount that I should on my car just because I don't care about other people. And that's accepted. So it's a love blocker. Money is the huge, biggest love blocker that there is. People use excuses about it. It's not about money. We don't need money. Money doesn't really do anything but allow people to control other people and deprive other people. That's all money really does in the end. Because everything we have on earth is free, just takes some work. But it doesn't take money. It takes cooperation. It takes work. Okay, so that's it for today. Love blockers, things that we allow get in the way of love. Let's be aware of the things that we do ourselves. Let's pay attention to the things that we do ourselves to block love, to stop love from coming through, to stop ourselves from working together in unity with other people. What do you use to block love? What do I use to block love? Well, I know one thing is these ideals about how people are supposed to wait in line, blah, blah, whatever. I let the money system affect me too much. What about you? What do you do to block love? What do you do? What do you put in the way between loving and accepting and working together with other people? Because we all do it to one extent or another. It's good to be aware of that. Because unity is the direction we're working towards. Love is the big pull. Love is the big magnet. Love creates gravity, and it holds us together and it brings us together. Let's work together in love, okay? I love you. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I hope your life is filled with love. We'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place with another love tip. Until then, bye-bye for now.